Hi, I'm Lantis. Welcome back to my box truck build on a trailer. Today we're going to be laying out a kitchen for, well, a tiny house built inside of a box truck. Try and take you through the decision-making process I've gone through to lay out this kitchen. I wanted my kitchen to be as compact and take up as less room as possible. So I've laid out cabinetry here and a sink, and then this build, or everything inside of it, is going to be all electric. So I'll do an induction cooktop that is removable or countertop placed, and be able to store it in a cabinet. And then this stack here represents washer and dryer, and then below here we're going to be putting in a composting toilet, and this will pull out as a drawer. And this is the step up from the bottom of the box truck, or the base of the box truck. And then this drawing here represents a kind of like a layout floor plan from above. So right now what we have is our basic measurements of a 24-inch deep countertop. And in this video I'm going to explain how I drew this and came up with this. So basically, to start off, I would take maybe step one, not a tutorial, but what I did was I just took the outside dimensions of what I had to work with from side to side, which was the interior dimensions of the box. And then I wanted this deck to be inside of my stud walls to be roughly 8 feet. So that way when I lay down material in here, flooring material, everything is going to lay inside of 8 feet and hopefully eliminate a lot of my waste. So I'm taking that dimension from the stud wall over to the other side here, to the other stud wall, and we've got 96 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to write that down on my floor plan, and that way we'll know what we have to work with when we're laying things out. What I did was I drew my floor plan in a rough scale, but it's to scale, just roughly, just drew it roughly. And then I took it over to the copying machine, scanned it, copied it, and that way I can start putting down all of my dimensions on here in real time. Because after you put material in, things don't fit as tight as they should, or don't, because of thicknesses of different materials. So that way you come over here to your other copied plan of your previous floor plan and start putting in your dimensions in real time to your drawing or floor plan. So what I'm laying out here now is the space for the stackable washer and dryer, and it requires clearances on either side. So I'm going to measure this out to the maximum space it's going to take. And I just take some blue tape and put it down. That way if I have to make any changes, I don't have a bunch of squiggly marks all over the place, erasing lines. And then basically from your starting point, you can start laying things out. So in my plan, I would like to have a cabinet underneath the sink. That might be hard to see. This is where we're at so far. This dividing wall is going to go up the side of the washer and dryer. And then this cabinet here now is going to be what I'd like to lay out next. But in order to do that, we have set parameters of what the freezer and refrigerator are going to do underneath the countertop on the other side. So that'll kind of leave us what's left over for the cabinet there underneath the sink. I got the dimensions laid out in real time here on the drawing as I figured out what each space will take up. So from the drawing on the floor, I've laid out where the wall's going to fall, or actually the partition to the cabinet, where the drawer's going to be inside the cabinet, and then the space for the washer dryer. And then from there, we're going to work our way up. All I'm doing is taking the dimensions that we determined from the fronts of our cabinets, and now I'm just transferring them back to the back of the wall and transferring up and getting our finished counter height here to get a sense of depth and perception of how big things are going to be and how things will fit. go ahead and lay out the height of the washer dryer where it's going to go, so that way I can have a location for the drawer for the toilet. What I've done here on the deck is I've written down all the dimensions of the components, so that way I just have a quick reference guide to what I need to, measure out for distances. And the washer dryer height is 62 inches. So we'll go ahead and measure down from the top here, which is approximately where the ceiling's going to fall. So let's do a little recap on what all these blue lines mean. This here indicates the drain from the washer dryer, and also the path for the hot water and cold water coming in. And then I've got my drain for my urinal for the separating toilet there in line with the drain. And these taller lines indicate where the partition is for the washer dryer. And then down here underneath the toe kick, I've got the drain, the water lines coming in, and then underneath the sink, I've got the water heater, and then the drain pipe to the sink, and that's all going to come in underneath the toe kick platform. And then I went outside and figured out where the mini split compressor, or the outdoor unit, is going to approximately be, so I can figure out how and where my line set lines are going to come in, go across, up the wall, through the wall, along the wall, over to where the mini split's going to hang on the wall. That's a future project. And then up here I've got my upper cabinets laid out. And then I laid out where the hood vent's going to be approximately, and then a cabinet above the hood vent. And then the bottom of this tape, the long tape here, will be the bottom of the cabinets, 20 inches down to the countertop. And then in behind the freezer drawer, I'm going to have the breaker box outlined in blue there. And then over here to the side, I haven't really quite figured out where I'm going to put my 12 volt, or my 48 to 12 volt converter, a bus bar, and then a 12 volt fuse panel for fans and lights. And then the breaker box will be right here. Run lines out the bottom of it. And then the charge controller all-in-one inverter will be right here. And then there, possibly, well, on the outside, the other side of the mini split. So I have to figure out where the mounting for that's going to come through the wall, so things don't run into one another. And then the power lines from the batteries, and the drain going down through the floor into the cavity below where that's all going to be housed. Just a simple layout of tape can kind of help you visualize where things are going to go, how big things are in real time, and the space they require to install them. Took all my final measurements and transferred them over to the drawing, so that way in the future when I go to buy materials, I'll get a good idea of what I need to buy to build the cabinets. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's any comments on what I can do better in the future, please let me know. Thanks again for watching.